YouTube? This is All Things Quick, back at you with another video. So today we're getting this car back together, this 2002 325xi. We're going to be taking a lot of parts off of this car right here, this parts car. This is a 2005 330xi. All of the interior pieces that are in here have to come over to this car, and we got to get this car pieced back together. We got to get this car prepped and ready to turbocharge because our shipment is in the mail and it's only about 2 hours away from the city that I'm in. I'm just waiting for that shipment to come in, so who knows when that will be, but whenever it comes in, I want to start turbocharging this thing as soon as I can. We're gonna get this car back together because there's a bunch of stuff that's missing from this, so we're just gonna jump straight into it. So first things first, I need to do a little bit of taping because the fellow that had this car before me, he had to cut out the center portion of the heater core so that he could fit his flat screen display in here. So I'm just gonna actually tape that portion inside there so that we can actually have sufficient heat and cooling in here when the time comes to actually drive this car. So I got all that taped up in there. If you haven't seen this video, definitely check this video out. This was of my drift car, the last one that I built. It was the same kind of Gorilla Tape that I used when I did the heater core delete, and I guess I'm using it for a heater core again. So that's all done, taped up. There's not going to be any air leaks in that thing. So as you saw on the blue car there, it needs a handful of things in the interior. So this car has everything that we need, even has extra because this turned out to be a parts car. This was the car that I was going to build initially, but it turned out that this thing was just way too rusty. Even like that, you can see, just nasty, right? So I'm gonna take off a bunch of this stuff from inside the car here, then we're gonna transfer it over to the blue car. But the good thing about this is that it's the wood grain panel. It's not actual wood, but it's has the illusion of wood anyways. So it's this wood grain paneling. I really like that. I prefer that over the silver that comes in these cars. So we're just gonna take off a bunch of stuff in here and then we'll get transferring it over to the other car. I was debating if I wanted to use the OEM radio or if I was gonna use this aftermarket one. I think that since this is here, I'm just going to use this one. I have an OEM one in the shed, so if ever I want to change it, I can just swap it out. But this one has a little USB thing in here, so I think I might actually load some music onto that thing once the time comes. I'm going to pull this apart and see how all this is wired in. I hope it's not some riced out type of wiring in here, but we'll see. Alright, so I got everything out that I need out, and I did a couple things off camera because back in here, I couldn't get a good camera angle at all this stuff, so I took out the tail lights, took out the subwoofers, took out those plastic panel pieces on the bottom there. I got everything out of the back here. I also got the amplifier, and I found this cool little shelf thing, and I figured I'm just going to steal that from this, and then I'll install that. There's a little compartment on this piece of fabric here. So definitely going to put that in the other car because I like the idea of that. And also in here there's a fuel pump housing and an actual fuel pump in here. And then I got all the door panel pieces off and I got everything from the interior off. So we're just going to go over to the other car and we're going to slap that stuff back on. So I was just having a look around in this thing, and I don't think that this thing actually came with subwoofers from the factory. Doesn't look like there's any spots for them. There's no wires hanging around here. So which is weird. I mean, it may have been an add-on option to have those because I've had a 2002 before that has had one, but maybe it's just one of those extra add-on things when you buy a car. So those I'm not going to put in. I'm still going to put in this side panel thing because that little shelf is really cool. So yeah, just gonna get at this now. So I just finished that. Everything's done inside this car. The only things that I couldn't get to were those reverse lights right there because the other ones on this car are really foggy, so I'm gonna have to clean those up before I put those in, but that's gonna have to wait for now. I'll just show you what I actually did in here. I changed all the trim to the wood grain and it looks a lot better. I also got Bluetooth in here now. I got the aftermarket deck in there, so then with the cord for the USB, and so those are some upgrades to that, so that's good news. And I think I'm gonna put a couple more lights inside of here because just like I was saying before, those subwoofers don't have any wiring going to them, so that must have not been an option from factory for this particular car. So that's fine. I don't really care about music much anyways, so there's just a couple things like that, so there's not lights in the trunk. So later on I'll wire up some stuff so then we can have more lights in there. And also my turbocharger kit just got here. UPS just dropped that off and we got everything here. We got a black inner intercooler in there, we got some piping, we got an exhaust manifold, which is nice. So everything's here in that kit. Once I go home today, I'm actually gonna have some more stuff in the mail. A fuel pressure regulator, some T3 flanges, and a fuel pump as well. So this car is well on its way. It's probably gonna get boosted within the next week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, depending how much time I have. So I'm just gonna show you what I did with this car, and then that's it. A little different than what I normally do for these videos. I'm gonna use this car as the outro for this video on a cinematic edit. So if you like that video, definitely hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this stuff down in the comments. Leave a like, and don't forget to join our Discord server. Links in the description. We'll see you in the next one. See you later.